Hello Internet, Mike Bertolini here. I'm playing Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York. This is a new game for me for the channel, but if you're anything like me and you watch, or watching New York by night, then you'll know why this game is important. So we're just gonna jump right on in. Do I want to be Bruja? Then true. Or Hoyer Dinner. Maybe a corridor. Cuts. And a name. Well, I like machines. You know what? Sure, I'm just gonna. Not even allow me. M. New York taught me to believe in fate. Had you asked me about fate back when I was a human, I would have told you it's just superstitious bullshit. We are all designers of our own destiny. That belief shattered when the richest woman in the United States, the actual richest one, not a face you could have seen in the papers, of course, sank her teeth deep into my neck. It happened in the very same place you're standing in right now, by the way. Fate? You decide. Please, there's absolutely no need to be hostile. Just listen, it's a long. See, my mistake was that I flew too close to the sun. It makes sense that my punishment was to never see its glow again. I was an incandescent myself. I was hot shit. I had it all. Money, looks, confidence, connection, men, women, a career, and a spark in my eye. One you need to be born with. And that's when someone far more powerful than me saw my radiance and thought, that won't do. She robbed me of the light of rubbing gave me a subtle, enduring gleam in its place. She decided that would fit me much better. She was a ninth generation Kidron, just like you, an apex predator. She probably enjoyed teaching me the peak of human excellence, my real place in the food chain. Such an eyesore when you look at some loudmouth braggart and see them for all they really are. The temptation to teach them a lesson can be unbearable, right? Well, my size lesson was a lesson about fate, a message saying you're eternally doomed to be at the mercy of your sovereigns. It almost drove me to destroy myself. What saved me was the ability to reinterpret her teachings. Hers wasn't a message of doom, it was a message of hope. Fate exists. One can shape it if given the right tools. My sire didn't believe my tools were fitting for the job. She considered them toys. Me, just her amusing subject. Well, she's deader than dead now, and I'm still here, standing right where she stood when we first met. You might have wondered how I learned about your arrival to JFK Airport. My answer is, of course, destiny. As luck would have it, today happened to be a day some of my associates were inspecting the coffins. Driving you here straight from the plane and having you wake up in such a familiar place was a little desperate. I do apologize for it. But it's so rare for you to visit New York. 3 times in the last 15 years, was it? Never eager to inform me you're here. I understand you still have that meeting on 53rd Street later tonight, so I'll provide a comfortable transport. I value our relationship very much. Don't get me wrong. But it's precisely because I value it that I'm going to ask you to repay the favor you owe me. You're the only one I trust to do the job well, and without attracting attention. I think I'm crazy asking you to breach the rules of our society like this, and I think it's impossible to get away with it unpunished. But this is New York. I don't know about other cities. In this one, fate really exists. Right now, it's smiling in your favor. This is how it begins. You stifle a yawn. It's been a slow evening. A little bit of red liquid left in your glass, and the crumbs on the plate remind you that, if nothing else, these are exhibitions that at least come with some decent wine and legit catering. And yeah, it's fun to talk about your work on display, even if you end up discussing with pretty much the same people at each such occasion. Or you met that one critic who keeps telling you, with self-assured authority, that you should pursue a different artistic avenue. The doe-eyed art student who's oh so impressed with your technique. To be fair, you're not all that happy with your latest piece, but hey, it's not the worst thing you've seen tonight. That noble, dubious honor belongs to one of the other paintings on display. And its author, currently being paraded around by his rich parents, has barely been able to grab a bite of the fancy canopies. So many sixpence to meet, so little time. For a moment, you think that maybe it's not worth it. You can take the critic's advice, cut your losses, sell out to some corporation and get it over with. And, as if the universe wanted to validate that train of thought, that's the exact moment your sister Emma decides to pop up in your view. So let me get this straight. Cushy corporate jobs are selling out, but supporting a billionaire's vanity project is totally fine with you? Hi, Em. You absolutely despise her as an artist. When you're struggling to uphold some nebulous idea of what art is meant to be, she's perfecting her ways of mooching off the system. Shamelessly preying on little-known street art and niche internet memes, she packages them as bourgeois-friendly collages. So Perhaps no wonder that NYT has recently dubbed her a mind-blowing explorer of digital art's extreme possibilities. But in spite of all that, you absolutely love her as a person. And as you welcomed her by smacking the back of her head, a gesture meant to convey nothing but deep affection. No, but seriously, supporting young artists is my ass. I don't know what kind of money you get for these pieces, but I doubt it's ever a fraction of what it's going to be worth in tax benefits. The gatherer actually said, if you had to choose the most valuable audience, it would be the IRS. And I'm pretty sure he was only half kidding. You mumble a non-answer and segue into a different subject, trying to preemptively quell her repeated offers to get you a steady job. Of course, she proves as insistent as ever. You know, sometimes I just don't get you. On one hand, you wouldn't be caught dead taking money from the inevitable winner of the culture wars. On the other, someone gave you the chance to collaborate on some dumbass Oscar bait sponsored by Larry Ellison's bailout fund. You do that shit for free. She rolls her eyes and asks, you know what the only difference is between the art scene and the culture industry? The culture industry actually pays your bills. As expected of someone who's given up on attempts to infuse her work with any sort of enduring quality and decided to just keep responding to the zeitgeist, she claims to happily accept the fact that after she dies, both she and her work will end up in a landfill. When you respond that you prefer chasing a 1 in a million chance to immortalize yourself, she claims it reeks of an overinflated ego. But you've been down this road too many times before and managed to accept she'll never understand what's truly important to you. Slowly but surely, you move on to more agreeable topics. Your plans to finally get hammered together, or the most recent crop of garbage Netflix shows your friends have tricked you into trying out. Alright, gotta go. I've got a date. She peeks at a bunch of middle-aged men in expensive suits who have stopped pretending to care about the exhibition and are exchanging the worst lecherous jokes they've got in their stable repertoire. Have fun with your friends, class traitor. She gives you a hug and heads for a nearby elevator. There goes the pleasant part of the evening. Still, you decide to delay the inevitable and catch a quick smoke break. Truth be told, people aren't exactly lining up to chat about your work anyway. As you leave your post, you start tapping your pockets in search of a lighter. Instead, you find a $100 bill you're absolutely sure wasn't there before. Jesus Christ, Em, you're the worst. And the best. You can feel your teeth turn red, but you gratefully put the money in your wallet and move outside. When you reach the balcony, you look out at New York City and light the second last cigarette left in your package. You're alone. It's not so silent. The metropolitan hum is ever present, even this high up. It's a good deal more intimate than what's behind your back. And over the railing, look down. Street lights beckon. Mind's eye, you see yourself and your felt artwork beautifully splattered all over the pavement. Working title, Delusion of Grandeur. The author, a brilliant artistic soul, crushed by unfeeling reality, gone too soon. You chuckle, cigarette in the air. Freshened up by the night's cool breeze, you squeeze back into the stuffy interior. You barely make a few steps before lethargy sets back in. It's like you never left. Still, something in the room feels different. Your eyes are drawn to a handsome young man, neatly dressed and groomed, exuding the air of a true artiste. And the best part, he's intently painting. The gallery is almost like an art installation itself now. People standing in silent awe, kind of like a beacon drawing everyone's attention. Plus, conversations about the guests can be heard from every corner of the gallery. Your heart is pounding with excitement, and you approach, feeling like a kid trying to get close to a deer in the woods, but you're afraid you'll scare it away. The Man turns to you, you stop in your tracks, tranced. So, this is one of your pieces? You manage to mumble an affirmation. Tell me about it, please. As you start discussing the inspiration, technique, and process, the man's eyes lock onto the painting again. He keeps interjecting, making no remarks. This guy gets it. He really gets it. The world around you disappears. You'll say anything, do anything to keep his attention on you. But you don't need to. He's into your art. He's into you. I want to buy it, and I want your company. I need to talk to you. You like what I have to say. Spoken matter-of-factly, so straight up, like he knows that you won't refuse, that you can't refuse. An hour later, you find yourself at his apartment, one of many, you presume, and your self-esteem all but patched up and your head full of the fine vintage. You tell the host a lot. In fact, it seems like you're telling him everything. Where you came from, how you ended up in NYC, how you had to take out a loan to appear at tonight's event, how you took a long look down the balcony. You thought about taking the plunge and, this time, you were only half joking. You feel miserable. You start crying. He holds you in his arms. You feel calmer. The tears stop flowing. It's been so long since you last had someone you could just talk to or communicate with, be seen by. Who knows? Maybe there's hope for you yet. That feeling of bliss, the last thing you remembered before passing out. Next thing you know, you're lying on the couch in that same apartment, hungry and dehydrated. How long has it been? Hours? Days? More? You're feeling weak, confused, abandoned. You look around in panic. Is he still here? Thank God, yes, there he is, standing in the doorway. His voice breaks the silence and fills you with hope until you realize what he's saying. I am so sorry. I hope that maybe one night you will forgive me. Always remember that in our parting moment I wished you well. You try to speak, ask him to stay, but no voice leaves your parched throat. You taste something on your lips. Wiping your mouth leaves a crimson stain on your hand. It's not the wine. What the fuck? The door of the apartment closes behind him. Alone. Again. Then the pain hits. It's a headache, a lurching in your stomach, a burning in your arms and legs. It's all you can focus on. Panic takes you. You fall from the sofa and hit a wine glass that flies off into a wall, shattering into bits. Someone from the corner of the room indicates that you're not as alone as you thought. Where you're lying, you can only see a feminine shape, stirring awake. You crawl towards the woman, inch by inch. The pain turns into an urge. You need to get close to her. You begin to see details. Long hair shrouding her face, worn her NYC hoodie thrown over her skimpy dress. She opens her eyes, moves her locks to the side, exposes her neck. Rabbit instinct takes you. Blink of an eye, you find yourself buried in her hair, smelling her sweat, mixed with just a hint of cheap perfume. Bite down and drink the blood from her vein. Wait. What is happening? Break away, look at the girl. She lets out a sigh, goes limp and unconscious again. You try to crawl back. Her dress rolls off to the side and you glance at her naked thigh. Lose control again. Bite her leg. Drink deep from the outer vein. It's intoxicating. It's bliss like you've never known before. It's beautiful. You break away again, fall to your back. What the hell was that? You really drink her blood? She's not moving. Oh God, she's not moving. You check her pulse. She's cold to the touch. Nothing. No heartbeat. No sign of breathing. That's when it hits you. Your much. You reach for your phone, it's not there. Where'd you leave it? You took it. Impossible to say. You stumble around the apartment but find nothing you can use to call for help. You need to get out of here. Now. You look outside the window. You're high above the streets. There's no balcony and the building exterior is glass, almost all the way down. You never survived the jump. But maybe that's precisely why you should leave the room this way. You just killed somebody. Your life is essentially over. A sickening void is opening in your stomach, warning you that your reality is about to turn into unbearable hell. A voice in the back of your head tells you that the smartest course of action to take the leap before it does. The more reasonable it sounds. You're just about ready to pick up one of the chairs and try to break the window when you hear the clicking of keys in the lock. Place. This is bad. Your thoughts start racing desperately, but instead of a rational course of action, only visions of false hope come to your mind. What if it's him? What if he's had a change of heart? What if he sent someone for me? You almost feel your heart beat again with excitement as the doors open. Almost, but not quite. A man enters, but not the one you'd expected. He's tall, broad-shouldered, handsome, with darkish skin. His suit is stylish and immaculate. You've never seen him in your life, but you immediately see past his sharp looks to see his sharper nature. He's a predator. And if you're not careful, you might become his prey. Good evening. I'm here to pick you up. A deep, emotionless voice. He turns his eyes to the lifeless body of the girl in the NYC hoodie and raises an eyebrow. So, this isn't what it looks like. This is what it looks like. Please, you have to help me. That's what I'm here for, after a fashion. He approaches the bed to examine the corpse from up close. Well, this is unfortunate, but preferable to going insane from the hunger. Quite a nice gesture. Actually, troublesome. Briefly looks at you with something like pity in his eyes, and changes his expression to a perfectly blank one. Listen, you may perceive your current situation as something out of the ordinary. There's hundreds of lost sheep like you, and you see, we tend to fall into two categories. First, there were the smart ones, those who carefully obeyed my every word and didn't pull off any stupid stunts. They always got where they needed to go, safe and sound. Then, there were the dumb ones. The punks who thought they could take me on. The wise guys who tried to contact somebody secretly without permission. Troublemakers who tried to run off or make a scene. None of them got to the destination in one piece. In fact, a lot of them never reached their destination at all. The man talks in a bored, professional tone, giving off an impression that he really had delivered the speech countless times by now. So you see, despite being a smallfoot, I'm a Mets fan. I love baseball. And it's inspired to come up with these 3-strike systems to determine if someone is done. Hits my nerves 1 or 2 times, well, I understand. But the laws perform well in stressful circumstances. But if you do it 3 times, understand that there will be no excuse, no forgiveness, no mercy. His presence changes ever so slightly. Say I understand, sir. Now. You feel an overwhelming, barely resistible urge to fulfill his demand. I understand, sir. Excellent. Alright. Is there anyone you'd like to inform about your current situation and tell them you're alright? He flashes his fingers briefly as he talks, and for some reason the sight causes a chill to run down your spine. Something is wrong with him. Someone close to you. having a night out in Brooklyn with her artiste friends. Can I call her now? You take out your phone while asking the question. It was in your pocket all along. You must have been panicked talking before. He shakes his hand and points to the hooded corpse next to him. If you want to implicate her, go ahead. I think we'd all be better off if you let me make sure that she only knows what she needs to know. Agreed. Give me her phone number. I'll have someone get in touch with her. You oblige to hand the smartphone so you can copy the number from your list of contacts. Thank you. This will be useful in illustrating my next point. Instead of giving you back your phone, the man hides it in his pocket. From this night onward, you are subject to different laws than the ones you grew up with. To be watched by many eyes to ensure the laws are respected. You are forbidden from letting anybody know that you are still alive. Showing your face anywhere they know you. If anyone comes to search for you, it's over. Both for you and them. He grabs his monotone recitation to stare deep into your eyes. So if you don't want someone to find your poor sister's body in the Hudson River next week, cooperate. The sight of his fangs again. Another physical fight or flight response. He fit right into his hands, putting him in danger. I can only hope that you care for her enough not to do anything selfish. By now, you're absolutely sure he's just toying with you, provoking you just to feel like your reactions. He hasn't told you where you're going yet, but he's already made it abundantly clear that a lot of people struggled hard to avoid getting there. He'd far more eager to cooperate if you ever raised the subject, but he made a point to make sure you fear the unknown. He's pushing you. But to what end? Does he want to intimidate you into complete submission? Is he hoping you give him an excuse to get rid of you? Maybe he's testing you, forcing you to show that you're made of. Somehow he makes all of his options seem plausible at once. Alright. I think there's enough lectures for today. Glance at his silver watch. It's a Patek Philippe. The kind of brand mere mortals never see outside of luxury lifestyle magazines. Just who are you dealing with here? It's past 3 a.m. now. Sun will come up in just a few hours, so we don't have much time. Come. Into these so that the corpse can be taken care of. He turns his back on you to unlock the door. Okay. You obediently follow him out of the room. Before he locks it again, you manage to take a final glimpse of the corpse. You feel a pain of conscience, but not because of your victim's horrible fate. It's because you don't feel guilty, even though you know you should. Something important inside of you that was still there yesterday has definitely died tonight. I wonder if you even recognize yourself in the mirror. Okay. I think this is where I'm going to cut it. So everybody, thanks for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If it's sort of content, be sure to subscribe, hit that like button. I'll pick up this game again soon enough. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.